We will call the Painesville Planning Board meeting to order for October 18th, 2021. A couple things going on here. We do have a 6:05 ordinance amendment public hearing. And if I'm understanding the logic or process here, we will be doing old business, obviously, after the public hearing. But first thing on our agenda is the minutes found on page 1 and 2. Looking for a motion to approve.
I'm making a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Randy, seconded by Katie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes are accepted. Can we jump over to informational?
Sure, you got 5 minutes.
You got 4 minutes.
Yeah, we might as well jump around.
Yep.
Who's got the CCLD review?
I'll take that one. So really the only thing that's of interest in there for me this time is that the new plumbing code becomes effective December 17th. So there's a few changes, but so far I've seen they're good.
Okay. Yes, I saw that my tax dollars are still supporting an electrician and plumber cartel. Good to see. All right, thank you, Brad. Building inspectors report, anything to throw on us there?
The couple of the big projects, Lewis Industries, they're going, pouring footings, getting ready to start building. Department building, put the roof on, so I haven't been by it in a few days now, but you know, they're making headway.
That's the
Fortitude Senior Living, yep.
Yep.
So those are the big hitters right now.
awesome. Buildings, new houses going up at all?
The townhouses, helped by John Deere, they're putting up 2 more now. They just started construction of 2 more townhouses.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Brad. Next meeting, just informational here, is Monday, November 15th, 2021. And, let's see, zoning ordinance chapter 36 is currently being revised by city staff and city attorney. A draft of the new ordinance will be coming to the planning board in November. Okay. You're on.
That's a complete revision of chapter 36.
And-
Roughly 100 pages, and there is some significant changes coming.
And that surprises me only because I thought we did that through the codification process.
So in the codification, the intent was to codify everything as it was presented, but with the intent that chapter 36 would be looked at and revised.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
And this has been on the docket for some time. It was a project with the previous administrator. And we are nearing, Bill and I are just doing the final reviews that we want to make revisions, and then we're going to give it to some other staff to look at. We're hoping to have it, I was actually hoping to maybe set a special November meeting, like maybe two of them in the month of November, but that's not going to happen. So we're looking at hopefully having it ready for planning on your regular meeting, for you guys to see it for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully you can email it out a little ahead of time so if it's 100 pages.
Yeah, and we're going to have to maybe take it in, sections. Maybe we'll take the first 30 and the second 30.
That's a great idea. All right. Just a minute or two here more. It doesn't look like we have too much opposition, but we have to wait till 6:05 to start the public hearing. Are you running ahead? Is it 6:05 in your
No,
world?
I'm here clocking, it's fine. When I came in, I looked at my clock and I thought it was like 2 minutes, so it's error.
I get hard time all the time because I have a flip phone and I'm always advanced, like 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know why.
It's an old flip phone.
Warp speed. All right, it is 6:05, so we will close our planning board meeting and open a public hearing The public hearing is based on the request from Mr. Flanders, supporting some clients. I'll give it just a quick read here for the folks watching on TV. The city has received an ordinance amendment request submitted by Riley Flanders to Central Business District to include cabinet shops, including construction of cabinets, showroom, and retail sales as a permitted use within the C1 Central Business District. The floor is yours if you have any comments.
Just a couple, just for the record, I'm here because Riley's in the protocol, or I probably live in there. There's not much to say. It's approved by all of the owners and operators, and it's kind of only half of the equation why we're here. Obviously, retail is allowed, and they're going to have a showroom retail, but they're also going to produce their product there. We've gotten to know pretty well, I've especially gotten to know well, and I think it can be a great addition to the community and a good addition to downtown.
And yeah, I thank you for your willingness to invest in our community. I think it's awesome. So for me, it's a non-issue, but if there's any comments or questions from the panel.
My only concern would be noise after 10. But since you have children and you're living in that space, I would assume that you'd be cognizant of that.
The earliest I would operate is probably 6 a.m. Heavy machine wise, and I don't plan to work past 5:30, 6 o'clock as I have to. So I'd like to spend time with them.
Yeah, most definitely.
There's a noise ordinance anyway for after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can't
there are-
anyhow.
Yeah.
There are some things in place to protect.
Yep.
And thank you for coming to Painesville. It is a great community, and it's great to be able to see it grow and get even better.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
I don't really see a problem with, I've seen your plan, and I think it's a great plan. I do have questions on forever changing the ordinances at the whim. This is a small shop, and this isn't an issue, but we're changing an ordinance, and could potentially be creating a problem in the future if something big were to want to come downtown. And we're opening that door, and I think that's something that we need to take pretty considerably, carefully consideration of. This is, the ordinance is here for a reason, and Bill and Jennifer spent a considerable amount of time writing this ordinance to protect these areas, and I guess I'm confused on why we do this if we're going to change it for everything.
I think when this list was done, there a lot of businesses weren't even in existence. And as people have wanted to open up businesses in town, we've had to amend the ordinance to add them to it.
I can understand that, but this is very clearly manufacturing. It would be very clearly the only manufacturing use in C1 now. So they were opening that door. That's my concern.
I think we've had, a few other things that are sort of manufactured in nature. We had the dressmaking, sewing,
And there still
and
is.
myself, and we have upholstery, I guess, is in there. The problem, I think the concern in part with manufacturing, and I don't think we'll have it with this because of the size, but we've had some issues in the past with production type operations that don't have parking for their employees. That's where we generated complaints. It hasn't been such a big deal since Corner Drug moved, and that place has been vacant, and that, I think that's what used to generate the complaints, was that. So, we didn't do anything with it. I think our ordinance has a provision that basically says in the central business district, businesses don't have parking and loading requirements except where specifically provided. So if that's a concern, if we wanted to address it, we could adopt the ordinance as drafted, but simply indicate that by this type of an operation that you have to provide for parking for your employees. We didn't do that, but that would be, if parking was an issue. I know, like Brad's concerned, I don't see it happening, but it could. You could have a large cabinet shop decide to locate downtown, and if they had a number of employees, then that gets to be an issue. And that would be the only concern I have with these production type operations is parking, because otherwise we don't have any way to deal with it downtown.
You know, for myself, and I went on record at the last meeting, and I'll kind of repeat the same process without getting too high up on my soapbox, but that, you know, in my opinion, we do this entirely backwards. You know, maybe we should list the things we absolutely don't want and let everything else in. And to address, and again, Brad, I respect your opinion, that's what this dialogue should be, so thank you for bringing that up. But what I would say is, I would question, we're protecting it from what? I mean, you know, with Amazon and Walmarts and Dollar Generals and all the other things, you know, the downtown will never be what it was in 1955 or 1960. So you know, Bill mentions a large cabinet shop coming to downtown Painesville, and I'd be like, amen, thank you. That would be my response. So I respect your concern. I drive past AMPI every day, which is heavy industry, and the only difference is it's a different color on Jennifer's paper. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, they block off that street 8, 9, 10 times a day. They got semis sticking out of there, you know, 8, 9 feet into the driveway, and you know, God bless them, because they're a large part of our tax base. So that's my response. But I appreciate the dialogue, and I do appreciate and in some ways I get a sense of what you're saying. But I think part of that is just because I feel like we're doing it backwards. You know, instead of saying what we do want, it would seem to me make more sense to say what we don't want. But
I could agree with that.
any other comments or dialogue or concerns? Otherwise, I'll close the public meeting. All right, public meeting is closed. We'll go back to our planning board meeting. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the only thing we have left on our agenda is old business, which would be to, if we certainly can have more discussion. Otherwise, I'll be looking for a motion based on page 3.
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance number 28, third series, and recommend such to the city council.
And I would second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, folks. I think that's all we got.
That's your whole meeting?
That's it. It was pretty long. Thank you both. Nice to meet you. Look forward to stopping in and saying hello.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, folks.